Get ready to see history in a way you never have before. Today, we're diving into some of the most bizarre and fascinating photos that uncover hidden stories from the past. These snapshots will completely change how you think about history. It's far stranger than you ever realized. Tim Allen's transformation, from arrest to redemption. Long before becoming a beloved star in home improvement, Tim Allen faced a life-altering moment. In 1978, he was arrested at Battle Creek International Airport with over a pound of cocaine. Facing a life sentence, Allen cooperated with authorities, leading to the arrest of other drug dealers. This turning point not only spared him from a grim future, but also set him on a path to redemption, evolving into the successful comedian and actor admired today. It's a lesson that one mistake doesn't define a person's entire life. Sometimes, one can change for the better. A picnic among alligators at California Alligator Farm. From 1907 to 1953, Los Angeles' California Alligator Farm offered visitors the unusual thrill of mingling with live, trained alligators. This image captures a daring picnic scene, showcasing a time when adventurous activities and exotic encounters were popular forms of entertainment. Brooklyn Supreme, the colossal draft horse. Brooklyn Supreme, one of the largest horses in recorded history, stood 66 inches tall and weighed an astounding 3,200 pounds in the 1930s. Revered for his sheer size and strength, this majestic draft horse became a favorite attraction at agricultural fairs, symbolizing the power and grandeur of his breed. Ancient punishment in a modernizing China, the Kangai, early 1900s. A striking photograph from the early 1900s shows a Chinese driver convicted of speeding wearing a traditional kang, a wooden punishment board weighing up to 30 pounds. Used as a tool of public humiliation and deterrence for centuries in East Asia, the kangi symbolized a lingering adherence to ancient punitive practices even as modernization began reshaping the region. Harriet Cole's nervous system, a medical marvel. Harriet Cole, a hospital cleaning staff member, left an extraordinary legacy by donating her body to science in 1888. Dr. Rufus B. Weaver undertook the intricate task of extracting and mounting her entire nervous system, which took 6 months. The result became a revolutionary teaching aid for medical students, a feat so complex it has only been successfully replicated 3 times since. Mary Smith, London's resourceful knocker-upper. In the 1930s, Mary Smith earned 6 pence a week as a knocker-upper in East London, a profession that predated alarm clocks. Using a pea shooter, she skillfully shot dried peas at workers' windows to wake them up on time. This charmingly resourceful job highlights the creative solutions to everyday challenges in pre-industrial society. Duchenne de Boulogne's electrophysiology experiments. In the mid-19th century, French neurologist Duchenne de Boulogne conducted groundbreaking electrophysiology experiments. Using electrical probes to stimulate facial muscles, he revealed how emotions manifest in expressions, a pioneering study in neurology and human anatomy. Ku Klux Klan's Ferris wheel ride, 1926. On April 26, 1926, members of the Ku Klux Klan were photographed riding a Ferris wheel at an amusement park in Canyon City, Colorado. This striking image provides a glimpse into the Klan's organized social activities during the peak of their influence in the early 20th century, reflecting how they blended public presence with a sense of community to strengthen their ideology. Soviet Youth Gas Mask Drill, 1937. In 1937, members of the Soviet youth group, the Young Pioneers, were photographed wearing gas masks during an air raid preparation drill in the Leningrad area. This evocative image underscores the Soviet Union's emphasis on military readiness and civilian defense training as global tensions rose in the lead-up to World War II. What do you think about this? Drop your comment below. Adolf Hitler in Bavarian Trachten attire. A rare photograph from the 1930s shows Adolf Hitler dressed in traditional Bavarian Trachten attire. While the outfit was later deemed unflattering, the image resurfaced after World War II, providing insight into the personal branding and propaganda strategies of the Nazi regime during its rise to power. A 106-year-old woman defends her home in Armenia, 1990. In 1990, amidst the armed conflicts surrounding the disputed Nagorno-Karabakh region, a 106-year-old woman stood resolute in the village near Goris, southern Armenia. Despite the chaos and danger, she fiercely guarded her home, embodying the indomitable spirit and resilience of a community enduring the hardships of war. The Tragic Tale of Mary, the Circus Elephant, 1916. In 1916, Mary, a beloved performer with Sparks' world-famous traveling circus, became the center of a horrifying tragedy in Erwin, Tennessee. After killing a trainer who had brutally beaten her with a hook, Mary was arrested and met a shocking fate. She was publicly hanged from a crane before a large crowd. This haunting display of justice remains a grim reminder of humanity's complex and often cruel relationship with animals. The Princess May Steamship Disaster, 1910. In 1910, dense fog caused the steamship Princess May to run aground off the coast of Alaska. The remarkable photograph captures the ship teetering on the edge of a rocky shore, yet all 80 passengers and crew miraculously survived unharmed. This iconic image serves as a dramatic reminder of maritime dangers and the resilience of early 20th century seafaring. The Great Molasses Flood, a sticky catastrophe, 1919. On January 15, 1919, Boston's North End was devastated by the infamous Great Molasses Flood. A massive storage tank burst, releasing 2.3 million gallons of molasses into the streets at a speed of 35 mph. The flood claimed 21 lives, injured 150 people, and caused immense destruction. This seemingly ordinary substance turned into a deadly force, leaving behind a tragic and unforgettable chapter in the city's history. Olive Oatman, a life marked by survival and identity, mid-19th century. Olive Oatman, a young Mormon girl, was captured after her family was killed by Native Americans in the mid-19th century. She was later adopted by the Mojave tribe, where she spent her formative years and received the tribe's traditional facial tattoos. Though she eventually returned to Western society, her remarkable journey of survival and assimilation remains a testament to the complexity of cultural encounters and personal resilience. President Lyndon B. Johnson's amphibious prank, 1965. On April 10, 1965, President Lyndon B. Johnson showcased his mischievous side by taking guests on rides in his amphibious vehicle, the West German Ampars. Known for his love of practical jokes, Johnson would pretend the brakes had failed as the car headed into the lake at his Texas ranch, only for the vehicle to transition into a boat seamlessly. This humorous and innovative display left passengers in equal parts terrified and amused. London's baby cages for fresh air, 1930s. In the 1930s, London mothers adopted the unconventional practice of suspending their babies in wire cages outside windows to provide fresh air. Designed to promote health and well-being, this daring parenting trend is a fascinating glimpse into past innovations, with no recorded injuries or fatalities reported despite the apparent risks. Robert McGee's harrowing survival after scalping, 1864. In 1864, at just 13 years old, Robert McGee endured a brutal scalping by the Sioux tribe after being left an orphan on the frontier. The attack left him with lifelong scars, both physical and emotional, but his survival stands as a testament to unimaginable resilience and courage in the face of the harsh realities of the American West. John Dillinger, the outlaw on display, 1934. After notorious bank robber John Dillinger was shot and killed by the FBI in 1934, his body was put on public display at a Chicago morgue. Thousands of spectators lined up to catch a glimpse of the infamous outlaw who had captured Depression-era imaginations as a rebellious figure defying authority. Though his reputation as a Robin Hood figure lacks evidence, Dillinger's charisma and defiance cemented his legendary status, with the posthumous display only deepening the public fascination with his mythic life. Stockholm's Day of Driving Chaos, 1967. On September 3, 1967, Stockholm, Sweden, descended into chaos as the nation officially switched from driving on the left side to the right side of the road. Known as Dagen H or H-Day, the transition led to widespread confusion and traffic disruptions. This monumental shift in transportation history highlighted the logistical challenges and adaptability of a city forced to rewire its daily routines overnight. The Beautiful Leg Contest, a unique cultural trend, 1951. In 1951, participants in the Beautiful Leg Contest at Palisades Amusement Park, New Jersey, donned pillowcases over their heads to ensure judges focused solely on their legs. This quirky competition entertained audiences for years, encapsulating the playful, nostalgic spectacles that defined mid-20th century American entertainment and cultural trends. The Tallest Nazi Soldier Surrenders, 1944. In September 1944, Jakob Nakin, the tallest Nazi soldier on record at 7 feet 3 inches, surrendered to Canadian Corporal Bob Roberts near Calais, France. The striking photograph of their encounter highlights a moment of contrast and victory as the Allies triumphed over the Axis powers. Despite their stark physical differences, the image symbolizes the human aspect of wartime surrender and courage. The Hindenburg, A Flight to Tragedy, 1937. On May 6, 1937, the German airship Hindenburg, bearing swastikas and national flags, flew majestically over New York City, hours before its catastrophic fiery crash in New Jersey. This iconic image captures the grandeur and optimism of early air travel, juxtaposed with the tragedy that followed. The disaster marked a pivotal moment in aviation history, ending the era of passenger airships. A surgeon's heroic self-surgery in Antarctica, 1961. In 1961, Soviet physician Dr. Leonid Rogozov faced a life-threatening case of appendicitis while stationed at a remote Russian base in Antarctica. Trapped by relentless snowstorms with no chance of evacuation, Rogozov performed a daring self-appendectomy using only local anesthesia and basic surgical tools. Remarkably, he survived the procedure and returned to duty just 2 days later. This extraordinary act of skill and resilience underscores the harsh realities and unwavering determination required in such isolated environments. Mang Betu Cultural Beauty, The Art of Leomo, circa 1929-1937. A striking photograph of a Mang Betu woman from the Democratic Republic of the Congo, taken between 1929 and 1937, showcases her holding her child while practicing Leomo, a tradition of tightly wrapping a baby's head to elongate the skull. This practice, considered a symbol of beauty and intelligence in Mang Betu culture, reflects the deep cultural and aesthetic values that shape their identity. Danish clothier's creative marketing strategy, 1936. During the Great Depression, a Danish clothier employed an ingenious marketing tactic by hanging 1,000 overcoats outside his shop in 1936. The spectacle drew massive crowds and resulted in the sale of every coat. This innovative approach demonstrates how businesses use creativity to attract customers and thrive during tough economic times. Crafting a death mask, a tradition of memorialization, circa 1908. Around 1908, 2 men carefully crafted a death mask, preserving the likeness of the recently deceased in plaster. Once widely practiced, death masks were created to honor and memorialize individuals, often serving as references for statues or historical displays. This meticulous process offered a tangible connection to those who had passed, ensuring their memory endured in physical form. A French Red Cross dog, equipped for war, 1917. In 1917, a French Red Cross dog outfitted with a gas mask stood ready to assist soldiers on the battlefield. This photograph captures the innovative efforts during World War I to protect both humans and animals from the devastating effects of chemical warfare, showcasing the bond between soldiers and their canine companions. Smog envelops Almaty, Kazakhstan, 2014. On January 12, 2014, Almaty, Kazakhstan, was shrouded in thick smog caused by a temperature inversion. This atmospheric phenomenon trapped pollution under a layer of warm air, creating hazardous air quality conditions. The image starkly highlights the environmental challenges faced by urban centers in addressing air pollution and climate issues. Combating malaria in wartime Italy, 1945. In 1945, an Allied soldier sprayed the interior of an Italian home with a mixture of DDT and kerosene to combat malaria during World War II. This photograph captures the soldiers' dual role as both warriors and protectors, with efforts to control disease amidst the chaos of conflict. A small child observing the scene adds poignancy, symbolizing the intersection of war and civilian life. A Native American switchboard operator at Glacier Hotel, 1925. On June 26, 1925, a Native American switchboard operator was photographed working diligently at Montana's Glacier Hotel. This image showcases a unique confluence of tradition and modernity, reflecting the cultural and technological shifts of the era and the diversity within the workforce. Enos the chimpanzee, pioneering spaceflight, 1961. On November 29, 1961, Enos the chimpanzee lay on his flight couch before embarking on a historic journey in NASA's Mercury Atlas V space capsule. Enos became the first primate to orbit Earth, providing vital data that paved the way for human space exploration. His mission stands as a testament to the bold experimentation and groundbreaking achievements of early space programs. John Mace and the brutality of anti-German sentiment, 1918. On August 19, 1918, German-American farmer John Mace was viciously attacked in Luverne, Minnesota. Locals, driven by anti-German fervor during World War I, whipped, tarred, and feathered him, leaving lasting physical and emotional scars. This horrific act exemplified the intense xenophobia and prejudice experienced by German Americans during the war, reflecting the darker side of wartime nationalism. Hugo Gernsback's Futuristic Television Goggles, 1963. Inventor and visionary Hugo Gernsback appeared in Life magazine in 1963, modeling his television goggles, an early attempt at immersive media consumption. This innovative concept aimed to enhance the TV viewing experience by combining compact screens with portability. Though far from modern VR, Gernsback's invention foreshadowed today's wearable technology. Peacekeeper missile test, lighting up the Cold War skies, 1984. In 1984, the Peacekeeper nuclear missile underwent a dramatic test over the skies of Kwajalein Atoll, illuminating the night with 8 powerful beams. This awe-inspiring display of the military might highlight the immense destructive power of thermonuclear weapons, symbolizing the Cold War-era arms race and the perilous rivalry between superpowers. The Fight of the Century updates in Times Square, 1921. In July 1921, approximately 10,000 men packed the streets outside the New York Times building in Times Square, eagerly awaiting updates on the boxing match between Jack Dempsey and Georges Carpentier. Dubbed the Fight of the Century, the bout captured the era's fervor for sports and live events. This iconic photograph, a sea of hats and excitement, reflects a time when news updates were communal experiences, bringing people together in public spaces. That's it for today, and be sure to like and subscribe. See you in the next one.